What the fuck is up, everybody? It is a glorious, beautiful day, and I want to talk about the moon on Jupiter right now in Cancer at 15 degrees. And I also want to talk about the recent Sun Saturn conjunction and the sextile with the Sun and Saturn to Pluto in Aquarius. Also, I should add that Mars in Pisces is within a sextile to this Moon Jupiter conjunction. So, to begin with the Moon in Cancer, okay, the Moon in Cancer transit began sometime yesterday or probably the day before. So, early on with the Moon in Cancer, this formed a square to the Saturn Sun conjunction. Now, the Saturn Sun conjunction, this is an annual event, and astrologically, this is considered the most serious day of the year. Serious as in Saturn, being the disciplinary planet, right? The teacher, the one that's going to say, no, you cannot go out and play with your friends because you're not a doctor yet, and I need you to stay in your fucking room and study for your fucking bar exam, right? That's Saturn. It's like rules, limitations, structures. We have a goal, we need to stick to it. And then the sun is our conscious awareness, it's our spirit, it's our expression. And so anytime the sun is crossing over Saturn, Saturn overpowers the sun. So whereas generally in Aries, when the sun is in Aries, it's spring. We're ready to spring into action. We're ready to have some fucking fun. We're ready to be impulsive and do whatever we want. Well, in Saturn, it's, whoa, hey, you better settle down there because you are not really that awesome. You're not really that great. There are people, you see that person over there? Yeah, that person has their shit together way more than you do. And that's because you fucking suck. And what are you even doing with your life? You can't even do 20 push-ups. And you want to fucking walk around through life like everybody owes you something? Come on. You'd be the first person to run away at the sight of a fight because you're a little bitch. So Saturn and Aries is this, it's this reality check, okay? With the sun. The Sun Saturn conjunction is a reality check. It's becoming aware of where you're at, who you are, what your limitations are, and how you're utilizing your time. Because when the sun's crossing over Saturn, we can reflect to the past and see what we're doing, where we're not, and with that reflection of the past, we can see where we're heading. And if you don't like how you've spent the last year, and you feel like you haven't really gotten anything done, well, then looking ahead doesn't feel that great. And then you have to strategize. You have to think, you have to plan. Okay, what am I going to do? You have to start asking yourself real questions, What am I going to do? Do I really want to stay at this job? How hard do I got to work to get a promotion? Will I ever get a promotion? Will I ever get a raise? I would really like to one day be able to take my family out on a vacation. I would really one day like to do this. And so long as I am allowing myself to stay in this position that limits me, where I'm not expanding, I'm not growing, but also I'm not challenging myself to meet the expectations of what it is I feel I deserve, right? So this is a really good week to have that serious discussion with yourself, looking at your life and, making choices and making commitments, because Saturn is contracts. Saturn is contracts and agreements. So when the sun is crossing over Saturn, we're essentially renewing our contract to ourselves right now with this Aries. And we're in this beautiful position right now with, Saturn starting a new synodic cycle and Neptune starting a new synodic cycle, and this sun passing over Neptune and Saturn. We're in this beautiful rare opportunity to reimagine and recreate your whole identity and create a new desire for what you want in life. And the beautiful thing is that it's an initiation. So it's not going to be instant. It's not going to be, oh, just okay, I'm now going to recreate and reimagine myself in this way, and by next full moon I'm there and I'm living it. No, you just initiated the journey to have that. Now you need to put in the work, okay? So that's been the primary energy of this week, with that sun transiting over Neptune and the sun transiting over Saturn. Now that the moon is in Cancer, okay, the moon is our emotional processes, right? It's our private world. It's our internal private world. And the moon is at home in Cancer. The moon governs Cancer. And Cancer can be a moody sign because Cancer is governed by the moon, and the moon switches signs every 2.5 days. The moon has influence and control to fluids and water here on this planet. It rises the tides, it lowers the tides, it makes stronger waves, it weakens the waves, same as the waters in our body. That's why women's menstrual cycles tend to sync up with the lunar cycles. That's why when there are full moons, people become lunatics. More things happen. The moon is very powerful. Do not underestimate the moon. So with the moon in Cancer, it brings us to this place of coming into an awareness of our emotional body with the things that have surfaced during this Sun-Saturn crossing. And so if during this week you've experienced certain reality checks, okay, that weren't, I don't want to say like negative or positive, but reality checks that are more so like just putting you in place, right? Well, then with that moon in Cancer transit, and right now over Jupiter, the way I'm describing it is big feelings. big feelings. You might been processing big feelings, like an underwater tsunami inside of you of just emotions, frustrations, agitation, because it's like, just imagine a kid, right? Just imagine a kid that wants to never do any homework, never make his bed, never participates in any of the household chores, just wants fun, just wants play, just wants McDonald's chicken nuggets, and is disrespectful, right? Just imagine that kind of kid. And then finally you're like, you know what? Fuck you, all right? I work my ass off to take care of you, you little punk shit. I've had enough. I'm taking away the games. I'm taking away everything until you can show me that you are understanding what it means to live in this house, be a part of this family, and build some goddamn fucking character and not be a total dick, right? And let's say that kid is at first is going to throw a tantrum, right? Because now he's having to be held accountable. Now there are boundaries. Now there are rules. Now there are expectations. And there's this tantrum, right? So it's different. It's different when you're an adult and you are independent in your own life, because you're not going to have that parental figure that's going to that can have that level of authority and control in your life. As an adult right now, as an adult 35-year-old man, ain't nobody about to fucking walk up in my house, walk up in my life and tell me I can't do X, Y, and Z until my bench press max reaches 240, What the fuck? Get out of here, dude. I can do whatever the fuck I want. So as an adult, right? It's different. But we still have that sort of that like inner child, right? So only we can be aware of ourselves or the people closest to us in our life, such as a spouse, a family member, other coworkers, best friends, right? And so you may have had somebody who represents authority or somebody who took on the form of Saturn and authority in your life to sort of point things out to you, right? Now your ego is being challenged. And with that moon in Cancer over Jupiter, it's inflating feelings, big feelings, right? And then with that trine to Mars in Pisces, and we're still going through Mercury in Pisces. We had the Mercury retrograde, we had the Pisces new moon just the other week, right? So people are still learning to see and be like to increase cognitive awareness of escapist tendencies and unconscious behaviors into routing into victimization or self-pity or hopelessness, right? So it's like, okay, you're finally getting called out by something. You were driving too fast in your neighborhood and there was a cop, you got pulled over. What the fuck you're gonna do? You can't really do anything. You're in the wrong. You're getting checked right now by an authority figure. Boom, ticket. What are you gonna do? Okay, how are you gonna respond to that ticket? you know and let's say already in your life there are a lot of things going on. Let's say you're already maxed out on your credit cards because you've just had a series of unforeseeable events that happened that required you to max out your credit cards. And then at the same time, you were any extra money you were indulging in things when you should have been holding on to that. You should have been saving that. You should have been investing that. And now you got this ticket and it's just like, oh shit, I am overfilling right now with stress and this and that. And it's like, who are you going to blame? How are you going to bitch about all these things? Oh, why is this happening? When am I ever going to get ahead? And blah, 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 blah. If you're stuck in that pattern, you're not passing the tests. You're not growing. You're not maturing. Because let's be real. If we were to sit down and analyze what you're doing with yourself, what you're doing with your life, what you're doing in your day to day, in the moments in between when you're kicking back watching Netflix and you decide to go on Amazon and finally purchase all the things that have been on your wish list because payday just hit into your direct deposit, right? It's your fault. Everything, almost just about everything, it's you. The consequences, the things, the discomfort, the agitation, the anger is you, right? And so with the moon crossing over Jupiter, it's like, the big feelings in you. And with the Pisces energy, it's like, it's like you want to shout and blame and cry and victimize, but no, you have to bring all that energy and focus it on yourself instead of outlashing and projecting and being a fucking little bitch, crying and trying to seek validation and empathy from others for whatever fucking reason you want, coddling or whatever. Like, no one's gonna give that to you. And if they do, those aren't the right people in your life. Those are enablers. Those are also people who are not fucking figuring shit out. You don't want to be in that kind of environment of other weak little bitches that are just going to enable and validate your incompetence, your lack in your inability to show up for yourself, and you're going to stay in that zone if you're in with other people like that. You want to be surrounding yourself with others that are living a life or are embodied in a way that you want for yourself. Okay, your environment is extremely important. Who you surround yourself is a reflection of yourself. Okay, So, good news is, okay, this sun is now sextiling Pluto, and by tomorrow, Saturn will be within a sextile to this Pluto. And because Saturn moves slow, and and Pluto moves very, very slow, this Saturn sextile to Pluto is going to last for quite a few days, beginning tomorrow for a number of days, but we're feeling it now. The sun's already within the sextile. So, excuse me, so with this sextile, with the sextile to Pluto, the good news is Pluto, it it makes us raw. Okay, Pluto makes us like this open nerve ending, just this raw, open nerve ending, where on a deeper layer we are ready. We know we need a transformation, and we're almost craving it. We almost know that something has got to give, something has got to die. And so there's this edginess, right? I'm going to do this, and there's an intensity. So you might even feel like an intensity to suddenly, throw out all gluten and sugar in your household, pour out all the liquor bottles and say, that's it. I'm living clean. I need to do something drastic. I need to do something extreme. I need to do something that really helps me feel like I'm taking control. So you may feel an angst, an intensity about you, and you need to focus that. You need to focus that intensity. You need to focus that, because the thing about Pluto, if you're not focusing the intensity and the deeper desire for a transformation, then what Pluto does is it will initiate that transformation to unfold in an unconscious level by inflating and activating your sabotaging patterns, your self-sabotaging patterns. So let's say, instead of being like, you know what, enough is enough, I'm not drinking anymore, I'm not going to eat these foods anymore, I'm pouring them down the drain, I'm cleaning up my life, I'm gonna do something better, and I'm gonna replace my drinking of alcohol with the drinking of herbal tea, right? If you don't do that, and you're not really understanding that something's got to change, and you do the complete opposite because you're still feeling the big feelings with the moon in Cancer on Jupiter and the sextile to Pluto, the knowing that something has got to die, right? Instead, you go on a drinking binger, right? You got that speeding ticket, so now fuck it. Like, I need a drink, I'm going to go on a drinking binger. And now you drink all the liquor in your house instead of pouring it down the drain. And what happens? Then you get in your car, get in an accident, DUI, license revoked. Now you're trapped. Now you're trapped in a system that has you for 5 years, right? However many hours and dollars you need to put into fixing the DUI and the car crash on your record, right? So Pluto, right? Transformation. So it's either you willingly, consciously, in your power, start transforming things and getting rid of poison in your life, or your unconscious will become activated to inflate your sabotaging behaviors, so you overdo it, where something intense happens in your life that now forces you into a position that you have no option to comply with or continue to go deeper into the fucking hole, right? So very powerful. So my suggestion, because of the Aries energy, it's a lot of fire, it's a lot of passion. And with the moon in Cancer crossing over Jupiter, a lot of emotions. And with the Mars and Mercury in sensitivity, Mars and Mercury in Pisces, the sensitivity is turned way up. And by sensitivity, I'm not saying like, oh, you hurt my feelings when you said that because I'm so sensitive and you should be mindful of the things you say when you're around me. I mean, sensitivity as in you are feeling the frequencies around you in a heightened sense. Like your senses are heightened, you are more sensitive. And because you are more sensitive, your awareness of things is on another level, and that can be overwhelming because with the emotions activated with the moon in Cancer, it's like, my golly geez. So my suggestion, get physical. Because Aries wants violence. Aries wants action. Aries is what did you just fucking bam, 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 right? So if you've had a week like this, if your emotions are being triggered and you know something has to change about you, about your life, my suggestion, go on a fucking walk. Go on a hike. Dance. Overexert your body right now. Take all those feelings, all those emotions, and meditate and focus on what you want to change in your life, but focus it through exercise. Do some push-ups. Push yourself physically. This is a powerful energy to really strengthen your body, your mind, and moving towards this new recreation of yourself. So, I'm tired of being overweight. I'm tired of this drinking problem. I'm tired of not having enough money. I'm tired of being single all the time. These aren't things I'm trying to refer to common things people may struggle with. So, my suggestion, go to the fucking gym, work out, eat good food, ground into the earth. Allow yourself to feel your emotions, but don't fucking project them onto anybody else. Don't fucking outburst onto other people, especially your family, especially the ones that you love the most. Because at the end of the fucking day, all the shit going on in your life, it's on you. Nobody else's fucking fault. Nobody else, no matter what type of mental gymnastics you can do to find it, to make it so that it's somebody else's problem, stop that. Stop that. Neptune is not in Pisces anymore. Neptune is in fucking Aries with Saturn. And that's what this energy is about. Stop being a little fucking bitch. Remember your ancestors and fucking hit the gym.